This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Get 75% off a 3-year plan by going to nordvpn.com/24framesofnick. Hey, what's up? It's me, Tom Hanks. Wait, no, I'm Tom Hanks. No, I'm Tom Hanks. Excuse you, but I'm Tom Hanks, but a hobo ghost. Have you ever just wanted a Tom Hanks movie? Just a movie where he plays every single character, even though the movie doesn't really have characters? Or how about a movie that just screams some operatic song of Christmas in your face every 10 seconds? Or hell, combine the two and have the song scream over Tom Hanks' non-character characters, and eventually just have him scream so loud that it's over-encompassing the song that's also screaming really loud.
Who in the place has applied that emergency? But it is very important to the rest of us. What in the name of Mike?
Well, now you have the 2004 horror documentary, The Polar Express. The Polar Express is quite polarizing. See what I did there? It was such a massive part of my childhood around Christmas time, but rewatching it, I kinda never want to think about it again. And before you get all uppity Tom Hanks style, seriously go rewatch this movie today and tell me it doesn't suck fat icicles. There are charming parts about this movie, of course, but there are also glaring annoyances and stuff that just makes this movie feel more like a dream rather than a movie. See, in 2004, Facebook first had its launch, a website that became a very stupid place that people all over the world used to talk to each other in a very artificial way. And speaking of artificialness that came out of 2004, you had Polar Express, a movie straight out of the Image Movers studio. A studio heavily obsessed with the idea of mocapping the dumbass faces of human beings and turning that into an animated feature. They're responsible for such flops as Mars Needs Moms, A Christmas, Shut Up Carol, that Beowulf movie, and Monster House. But you know, Monster House is pretty great though, so maybe they ain't so bad. The Polar Express is one of those mocap movies that they did, so the animation ranges from, wow, that's kinda creepily impressive, to just disgusting facial expressions. As a kid, I always thought that the hot chocolate dance was absolutely awesome. It was like some Cirque du Soleil artful twisting and bending of bodies. My mind would just always remember it as something incredible. But yeah, it's just stupidly funny.
Ooh, we got it.
The dudes whole have the exact same robotic face with zero movements, and this one guy simply moves on an X-axis until he's comfortable. The main reason this movie isn't really good is that there's quite literally zero plot. It's just spectacle. And while I love spectacle, give me that grandiose spectacle all day long. It kinda has zero weight when there is no writing in between it. It holds as much impact as someone screaming the word epic in your face over and over again. But I'ma attempt to tell the plot, because God knows it is not a 24 frames of Nick video unless someone fucking dies. And everyone fucking dies in this movie. The movie begins with Tom Hanks narrating and telling us that the kid in the bed is him as a kid. So he's Kid Tom Hanks. The kid is totally not the scare doll from Monsters Inc., no matter how weirdly he looks like it. The dad, voiced by Tom Hanks, talks to his wife, and they talk about how the kid is growing up and being an emo little shit. The parents go to bed, and outside, the kid, and only the kid, hears a massive and uncomfortably close train pull up right outside his door. Oh, also this kid has no name whatsoever. No one has a name in this movie except for some dweeb.
There's someone named Billy. My name is Billy.
So we'll call this kid Scare Doll. So Scare Doll walks up to the train and hears Tom Hanks call out to him. This is Tom Hanks, the conductor, and he's a real jerk. This man is always screaming at kids and purposely putting them in extremely dangerous conditions, and then getting mad at them for fighting to get out of them. So the dude hops on the train after a little hesitation, and we meet young Sheldon, the single worst kid ever animated, ever. We also meet a girl who has no name as well, and throughout the entire movie, we just see Scare Doll scream at her. It's really abusive.
He said this was the break. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Tom Hanks' conductor then comes to all the kids and starts punching letters in the magical tickets that appear in their pockets. These letters form a very magical word at the end, relating to the nameless characters that hold them for a very artificial sense of lesson. The train then makes one last stop for the dweeb kid that doesn't get on the train until he makes it hassle for everyone else. He's that kind of kid, you know? You know what? I really sound like I'm hating kids right now, so I'm gonna stop. Nah, it's like this kid's a nerd. Once Scare Doll stops the train to let the other kids on the train, conductor dude comes in and screams at Scare Doll until that dude's heart literally snaps and you can hear it shatter. but he makes up for it by giving everyone hot chocolate. That's it, that's all you gotta do. And they do that fancy robotic dance I talked about earlier. The no-named girl hides some hot chocolate to take it to the loser kid, and Scared Doll unnecessarily tries to bring her ticket that she left on the seat, even though it was perfectly fine sitting there. So he loses the ticket, and the ticket itself goes through an incredibly long sequence where it just floats around through the wind for literally 2 minutes until it gets back on the train. You can call it magic, I call it bullshit. Since the girl doesn't have the ticket because of Scared Doll, Tom Hanks' conductor takes her away to be executed. See what you did, dude? Scared Doll finds the ticket though and tries to bring it to her, and gets distracted by Tom Hanks' hobo on the roof. The hobo tells him to believe in Santa because that's an element to Scared Doll that drives the ending of the film. Scared Doll thinks Santa is a fake thing that doesn't exist, which I agree with because only elves matter, dude. Watch my video on Elf. But yeah, the hobo tells him stuff about believing and he walks away. The Scared Doll walks atop the train to the front and finds no named girl. Then they go on a crazy epic roller coaster sequence. That's it, it's just some action that doesn't really feel like anything. I want to care more for it, but I just don't, and that's the issue. Eventually the entire action sequence flows into another action sequence that once again, I wish I cared for. I cannot express how lifeless the spectacle feels when you don't know, understand, or even think of any of the characters on board. The entire train is shaking and flipping through the stuff, and even the movie doesn't care enough to show us the people in the back of the train that are no doubt flying around like mad. Tom Hanks' conductor eventually hints that the Tom Hanks hobo is a real guy because apparently he's like a ghost or an angel or something. It's very muddled and odd. The hobo guy really just screams throughout the movie and doesn't really play a crucial role in anything. Literally, he just screams and then the movie kind of forgets about him before the third act. Or they kill him, I think. I think he fucking dies, but it's really hard to tell considering he just gets blasted. But eventually all these kids just get to the North Pole, but the main-ish kids get separated. And they wander around a very empty North Pole that feels like everyone just got raptured or something. Like, it's Christmas time, right? So all the elves are off doing something else. But the atmosphere accompanied with this ending is nothing short of loneliness up until the end, and it's a very odd choice. But the main kids push through until they get caught in Santa's bag, and they literally end up in front of Santa. Scared Doll can't hear Santa's bells because he doesn't believe. He just needs to believe. Come on, Scared Doll, you gotta believe.
I believe. I believe.
And so he believes and gets a bell from Tom Hanks Santa and goes home, and the end. That's the movie. Isn't it glorious? The Polar Express is a cold, barren, charming at times, but overall strange feeling movie. I wanted this to be another golden gem for my childhood to love, but I really can't like it in the slightest. It focuses more on creating over-the-top clunky action pieces, but they always feel like a couple of dolls being tossed around rather than characters you're actually caring for. The adults in the movie are real jerks, and the voice of one of the elves is really creepy and it makes me uncomfortable.
It's in good hands. Trust me.
It honestly just kind of makes me sad that I didn't like rewatching this movie. Old Christmas movies like The Santa Claus are really terrible, but at least they're enjoyable to watch because of how bad. But Polar Express is just meh. It's just a big fat meh, and that makes me really sad. I don't understand the story that they're trying to tell here. They're just trying to tell a story that a kid wants to believe in something, and he believes in something very easily, and scenes just are drawn out to get there. Literally, the smallest action sequence will be drawn out for way too long, and it gets really boring. For a movie that has Express in the title, it's a very slow movie. It's so easy for the kids to run somewhere they're not supposed to be and mess stuff up. They do it constantly. There is no security or safety found anywhere in this movie, and honestly, it can't be helped. But, you can be smarter than them. You can be safe and secure online with this week's sponsor, NordVPN. NordVPN is the top VPN with an incredibly user-friendly design and interface that allows for the easiest and best way to protect your information. If you're traveling at all this holiday season or even shopping online, I highly recommend NordVPN to protect your internet security. NordVPN uses military-grade encryption to scramble your data and keep it safe, especially at those very shady airport Wi-Fi spots. If you go to nordvpn.com/24framesnick or click the link in my description, you can get 75% off a 3-year plan and an extra month free when you use my code 24framesnick at checkout. It's thanks to sponsors like NordVPN that I'm able to make these kinds of videos, and with the help of my Patreon supporters who also help make these videos possible. You know, it was kind of really hard to describe the plot of Polar Express when there's literally zero plot. I like to imagine that the script is just nothing but the word action over and over and over again, because the dialogue is almost non-existent, and even if there is dialogue, it's just like fucking strange and doesn't have any interaction between characters going on. It's usually just a bunch of people screaming at each other, and that's it. It's just a weird feeling movie. It's just weird. And if you don't believe me, just go rewatch it right now and come back and validate me so I can feel that validation, because I need some right now. But yeah, I'm Tom Hanks. Thanks for watching.